A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Hello and welcome to Tinpot. It's episode 20 of Tinpot. We should maybe have had a celebration episode, but we're that confident we're going to get to 200. We're not going to bother. My name's Tom. I'm going to be your host for the next wee while, and I'm joined by our usual suspects, Matthew.
Hi.
And Andrew.
Oh.
Lovely stuff. Coming up in this episode, we are reviewing the games that we predicted in the episode last week, which are the two Scotland games, Scotland versus Greece and Scotland Belarus. We made some predictions for those. We're going to just have a quick chat about how they went and how our predictions fared. We will then have Mr. Debates, our debate section of our episodes, which is this week going to be all about Mr. Steve Clarke. Matthew proposed this idea, just for anyone thinking that it's me trying to shoehorn as many Steve Clarke conversations in as possible. It wasn't me, it was Matthew. And then we're going to finish off with a quiz, as we always do. So that's what's lined up over the next wee while. But before we dive into that, it's been a good matter of days since we last spoke, gents. How are you both? How have you been, Matthew?
Sorry, just wiping my camera.
Oh, good stuff.
Looks just as fuzzy as it did before. Fine. I was at a 40th birthday today in Bathgate, so that was nice. In a bowling club. With a classic buffet spread, absolutely loving it. That's so good. I love a bowling club buffet. You know you're going to get, and it's always very good. And there's a Costco cake. Have you had a Costco cake before? Like a birthday cake from Costco. Man, it's the sweetest thing. You've just imagine like any cake you've seen like an American film, like with all the frosting, like all the white frosting around the side. Like this was just like that, mate. Like your wildest dreams, like so sweet. I was just like shaking after I'd eaten a piece. Like kids were like on the floor, like fucking. It was so sweet. It was fun. And today I saw this like advert on my Instagram. I don't know if you're getting spammed by it, like retro games or something. So it's like this little games console that you've got. It's like got thousands and thousands of old games on it. So you buy the console and you got like all these games like Crash Bandicoot, Mario, and all that.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yes, I bought that today for like.
You bought it?
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah,
you spent money on something. Yes. Tinpot celebration.
I know. So I was thinking, why not? I'll treat myself. So I've got this games console. So I'm gonna be like Crash Team Racing and like. Old school games like fucking
nice.
Duke Nukem and all that shit on it. It's got loads of games like.
Well, it links up to your telly.
I don't know, but it's like a wee, maybe like a Game Boy side, bit bigger, like a handheld thing.
Right.
So you can just sort of play it like a PSP vibe.
Oh, okay, so it's not like something that links into the back of your telly like a dodgy stick. It's not.
But I thought the kids might get some joy of it if they've got like basic games like Bubble Smash or whatever. So it could be something fun for us all to do.
Nice.
Or me to play for a week and then get fed up with it and put it in a drawer. Never to see the light of day again, which will probably be the latter, because it'll be shit.
Useful in a few years when they get old enough to like demand a PS5. You could be like, no, we've got a game console already. Play with that.
£60, got to get your money's worth.
£60 you've spent.
I don't know. It could go. It could be really cool. It could be like a load of shite. But I'm going for the cool because it's got 432 reviews on Trustpilot, so we know that's accurate from our time in real estate. We don't beg people to give positive reviews. We just don't ignore don't tell the bad situations that there's a place to review. You know, you only tell the good ones. Anyway, that was it. Really, the highlight of my weekend was a cold buffet and a hope of a game.
Sausage rolls, little like bits of melon on a cocktail stick, that sort of thing.
Nah, but there was cheese, but it was like brie and stuff like that. Smoked cheddar. Gave Marley a bit of smoked cheddar, and he was like spat it out. Like he's not quite there yet with that. Just a cheese string guy still. But
nothing wrong with that.
And but nothing will beat the monster meal that Andrew had the other day. Like, what was that, mate?
What's that? The full pizza crunch.
I've never had a full pizza crunch to myself, man. That's impressive. Like,
yeah, I mean,
You're still struggling.
Yeah,
are you?
I went to order it, and then she was like, "You sure you want a full pizza crunch?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like
Having guests
a full
round, are
one.
you?
I was like, "Yeah," and then I got it, and then I was like, "Oh shit." I was like so tired when I ordered it. I was like, "Oh no, no, what she meant." And then I looked at it. I was like, "Yeah, I just meant to get a half." But I tell you what, ate full whack, and
That's insane.
didn't sleep that night because I had indigestion that was pretty much crippling.
That's the polite way of saying it.
Yeah, then I had a busy old day the next day, let's just say. But yeah, not in a rush to get a chippy again, I have to say. After that, but it's self-inflicted. So,
But
not
it's
the
such good
chippy's fault.
value. The full is like £2 more expensive than like the half. Why wouldn't you get the full?
Exactly. Tried to get like the family to tag in on it, but nobody wanted it, so just had to
Guess
go
onto the
myself.
dog. No, even the dog turned it away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he probably wouldn't have, to be fair, but yeah, that's pretty much my highlight of my week. To be fair, this weekend not done anything exciting at all. So had a McDonald's last night.
What'd you have?
I had the chicken Big Mac.
For a guy who was slagging them off earlier on in the series, he seems to be going there quite a lot. I think
Yes, he does.
It's because it's down the road, innit? But it was
Burger King's
Yeah,
another 5 minutes
chicken-
away.
yeah, exactly. But when you're racing back from Edinburgh and you've got to feed a kid like an emergency, then you got to get there quick. But yeah, only criticism about the chicken Big Mac is it's very slippery. So the Big Mac sauce definitely sort of lubes up those chicken patties and just flies out.
Yeah.
You know, like every time you're trying to eat it, it's like slipping all over the place. So, little suggestion: get a skewer, pop it through. Bob's your uncle.
They sell them. They
McDonald's
serve them at
gastro.
McDonald's in the drive-through, do they?
Nah, I just
Like a
got
skewer
them,
with that meal, sir.
got left over with my barbecue, so I was like in there, and then munch around the skewer.
That's some fucking gastropub bullshit right there, mate. Yeah, you fucking stick
Well,
a skewer in your
It's
with
better
a
than
pickle
getting
on
a
top.
whole mouthful of just bread.
You know what? Sometimes I do. I separate that in half. So I'll take like the bottom half, and then with a bit, and then I'll eat in two like mini burgers. You know, it's quite good. It's
That's
like
fair.
you get more
That's
for your
fair.
money.
That's fair. That's fair. How was your weekend, Tom?
Fine. Can I just on the topic of pizza crunches? Can I shock you? I've never had a
Yeah.
pizza crunch.
The
Well,
only
never-
reason I used to get it when I was younger was because it was the cheapest thing on the menu. Surprisingly, it was like £3 back in the day, like for a supper. Insane value.
Yeah, I've had fried
Um,
pizza, and that was
You've
that's
had
lovely.
like high school pizza, like shite cheese and tomato pizza. You've had that before, like when you
Yeah.
used to. Yeah, it's like that pretty much.
No, I've had pizza from the chippy, like fried pizza. It's the same
Oh.
pizza, they just put batter around it. I'm saying I've never had a pizza crunch.
Not the same thing.
That's pretty much exactly the same thing, yeah.
No, because you put the pizza in without batter on it into the fryer. That's just fried pizza. Whereas if you put batter on it, it's a pizza crunch.
Wait, what?
What?
So the photo
Both
you
have
sent
got
us in the group chat, Andrew, it's got batter around
Yeah.
it, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pizza.
As in,
It's
like,
been
you put
deep
fish in
fried.
batter and you fry it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you also get slices of pizza or half pizzas put in the fryer without batter on it.
What's the benefit of that?
There's not a benefit, just in the chippies I used to go to, they didn't have pizza crunch. So I never had
You
one
just
growing
put
up.
a pizza in oil and cooked it in oil.
Yeah, that's a
fucking
common thing at
right.
loads of chippies.
No, it's not.
It is so.
No, there's
Fried
no
pizza.
batter.
I'm going to need the comments to back
You
me
have
up
to
here. 'cause
batter everything. That's a
100%
chippy.
it's
You have to batter it.
You
That's
don't.
the point.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the chippy.
You don't have to batter everything.
you
What
batter
about
everything.
your smoked sausage that you had with your thingy? That
Was
wasn't battered,
battered,
was
my
it?
Yeah.
man.
No,
Was
no,
battered.
no, Andrew had one.
That was
Oh,
that
that's
was in the
just
same
heavily.
box. It was literally just like a salad.
Right. Come on, so
Batter
not
salad,
everything
would you?
needs battered then, does it?
So you're
No.
talking like a pepperoni
Probably
pizza.
not.
They'll just put it in the oil and it'll be all what, like just soggy in that when you take
No,
it out.
it comes
Yeah.
out. Honestly, I thought I was the weirdo here, but the fact that you two have never seen a fried pizza before, that's worse.
I want to eat this now. Like
You've not been to enough chippies.
Yeah. Yeah, sample that.
I've never even seen it on the menu. To be fair, like you obviously get pizza and you get pizza crunch. You don't get fried pizza. Where
Yeah,
were
it's
you
the same
living when you
pizza
were
that
young?
in the wee window. There's never pizzas. There's just always pizza crunches in.
I tell you.
Where
there
was
is.
this, Tom? Where were you?
When?
Yeah, when you were ordering this, where were you
Oh,
living?
I mean, loads of different chippies. Normally Edinburgh, so if we were going to the
Ooh.
chippy on the way back from a football game when I was a kid, it would be like Pathhead outside Dalkeith. They're definitely like fried pizzas in Dalkeith, like that sort of area. I don't know if it's like an East Coast or a West Coast
Maybe.
thing, or maybe you two just haven't heard of it. But
I'm a Fifer and I've never heard of that. Like,
maybe it's just not
Yeah.
reached Fife, and you're an Angus kid, although you've lived in Glasgow and Edinburgh
yeah.
for a long time. So
Yeah, never came across it, but
what? I'm telling
doesn't
you.
mean it doesn't exist though. Yeah, yeah.
class,
But yeah,
right?
my weekend has been fine. Two Scotland games back to hand for the first time since March, so that's been good. Other than that, not doing very
Is it?
much. Yeah, I always enjoy going, even if we don't perform that well. Got 6 points, so can't complain. And on to that, we'll on that note, yeah, we'll come on to the review of the predictions that we made last week. So we'll start with the Thursday game, which was Scotland versus Greece. Normally we pick a game each. Just don't know if the listeners are aware of. This is the same segment we normally do. We normally pick a fixture each from the Championship or League One, League Two. Pick it, preview it, and then on the following week we'll review it. But yeah, it's a bit different this week with two Scotland games, so we all were chatting about the same fixtures. Matthew, do you want to give us a quick rundown of the Scotland versus Greece game?
Yeah, can you remind me of my prediction, please, Sam?
No, I can't. You don't worry about that for now. Just talk us through the game as you would have done if it was Dunfermline Queen's Park like you did the previous week.
Ooh, okay, about the same level of football, mate. Hey, same standard for Scotland anyway, that's for sure. Scotland steal the 3 points from silky Greece. Perhaps be the headline. I don't know. We won the game, which was great. We scored 3 goals. They scored 1 goal. It was just a bit passive, I thought, from Scotland. I thought we were talking before the game about, obviously we felt that we were equals, if not a better team than Greece. Well, clearly we're better in some things, and most of them don't involve any technical skill. It was a bit of a disappointing flat beginning to the game where the fans were pretty buzzing, the atmosphere was quite loud, and then we just sat back and let them have the ball. Obviously that was the tactic, but we all felt that we could have gone toe to toe with them. It was a bit disappointing that we didn't. They were the better team up until they scored, and then we got our finger out and actually progressed things quickly, as we are best at doing, and got the ball forward and got into dangerous areas, winning free kicks and putting them under pressure, and they can't defend. So just a question of, would you prefer a team that can pass the ball nicely but can't defend and then lose the game, or a team that can't pass the ball to each other for the whole game and then get 3 lucky goals and win the game? Maybe not lucky goals, but 3 certainly forceful goals, I guess you could say. And we won, and that was it. And everyone was happy, I guess. So there you go. It's really a difficult one to analyse, because we won 3-1, and you look at the scoreline, and that's a great result. And you watch the game, and you're like, what the fuck? But yeah, I think I said 2-1 or 2-1 to Scotland. I think I said, and Scotland went a goal down. So
Yeah, one of you said 1-0. One of you said 2-1, and I said 3-1. Not to brag too much, but
well done. But I don't know
Yeah.
what you guys think about that. We're also going to get onto the topic of the team and the way we play later on. In my opinion, I felt it was disappointing that we act like minnows to some extent against a team that's our equal. We should be at least trying to lay a glove on them. I don't know.
any difference of opinion from you, Andrew, compared to Matt's sort of synopsis of how Thursday went?
Not massively, no. I was just, yeah. There's a lot of disappointment going around. I thought, obviously the result is great, and it puts us in good stead moving into the last couple of games. But I kind of said last week, or maybe prior to that this game should be kind of treated like a derby, and almost that kind of feeling and atmosphere around the players, the fans, the aggressiveness, the general sort of attitude, I guess, towards the game. I do agree with Matthew. I just feel that they were very kind of reserved, sheepish, not showing bravery at times, and unfortunately that seems to have kind of carried through into this evening's game. But focusing on the Greece game, there's no other way to put it, but we were lucky, really, ultimately that game could have gone either way. It was so nip and tuck, and yeah, we got very lucky. Obviously, the last goal's extremely fortunate, but yeah, I think we were fortunate to get that result. I'm not sure we were the best team, and again, that seems to have kind of carried into tonight. I know, obviously, we're going to tackle that maybe a bit later, but yeah, something's not quite right. I can't really put my finger on it. I thought the lineup, there wasn't anything massively wrong with it. I do think Clarke, again, sort of a trait over 2 games. He probably could have made crucial substitutions a bit earlier, just to try and freshen things up a wee bit, because we were very flat, so I think we could have made an attempt to perhaps take the pressure off the players a little bit and start to sort of bring in a wee spark there. When the subs did come on, they did make a bit of a difference, but I think it was like at sort of 80 minutes or whatever, so yeah, I was hoping that would maybe be nipped in the bud after that, but it doesn't really seem like that was the case. But yeah, a bit concerning, a lot to turn around. Obviously, these next 2 games are coming up thick and fast, so yeah, a wee bit worrying. We'd need another sort of stroke of luck, twice, to try and get ourselves top of the group. But I mean, we are in a good position. We've got the results, so there's only a limit to how much you can really complain, I guess.
Yeah, sitting here recording on the Sunday evening, it's only a few hours since the final whistle blew at Hampden from the Belarus game, and the Denmark game is ongoing. I think it's 3-1 at the minute to Denmark, so it looks like that second place is guaranteed now, at worst, for Scotland. So we'll have a playoff in March if we can't get the job done in November. But yeah, there's two games against massively different opposition and 2 underwhelming performances overall. I think tonight's was infinitely worse. For me, I thought on Thursday, it's easy to be bored in that first hour of football. I said this to you both already, like that, and worry and really criticise the team. And then when you sit and look in hindsight, when you've won the game 3-1, I had a completely different view on it, in that we limited the chances they had in that first hour. They had one big one in the first 10 minutes. Other than that, they didn't really cut us open or threaten. It wasn't chance after chance. It wasn't bombardment. We had more of the ball than I think we expected to against them. But we didn't do enough with the ball. I thought out of possession we were fine. We just didn't threaten enough with the ball. We're bouncing it back between the defensive midfielders and the centre backs, and out to the wing backs, and then back in again, recycling the ball way too much. And then they get a goal, and it shows what the Scotland team is capable of doing when they really need to, and that's going and getting three goals. So yeah, the 3 points are all that matters. And Steve Clarke and the players that were interviewed after the game, they weren't really too harsh. They weren't too harsh or critical, and they weren't too concerned. But completely different tonight. I'm not sure if you guys have heard Steve Clarke's interview, but he was openly criticising his team, which I don't think in my memory he's ever done. Scott McKenna said in his interview that Clarke came in at the dressing room at half-time and went berserk and really put one up them. Then they've come out in the second half and not really shown that at all. Yeah. So, as much, we'll come on to Clarke in a minute, the big debate about how he's done as a manager in his sort of 72 games in charge. But the team that was put on the park in both games was good enough to do a job. And especially when you've got a game against Belarus, who you should easily be beating. Steve Clarke's gone in at halftime and bollocked them, and they still don't come out. That tells me that there's something about complacency, that mindset, which was a similar thing to what we had against Greece, I felt, in that 3-0 game in March. So, any thoughts on tonight's game, fellas? I know I've not really given you a chance to come in there.
I think it's Jack Hendry's last game for Scotland. I would say that.
Yeah, he was shite.
Why
honestly.
is he in the squad? Why is he? I know Clarke's loyal to his boys, but his boys played in Saudi Arabia for one of the worst, like one of the poorer teams in Saudi Arabia. This is nowhere near the level for Scotland. So I think we can just say thanks for your time for him. That's one thing. 2, Tony Ralston is also a considerable Oh, the level, the difference between him and Hickey is unbelievable. This guy, how's he going to play for Celtic? Like, this terrible. Get a haircut as well. Like, fuck me. It was to give away that amount of chances to a team like that is just embarrassing. Like, I mean, Kenny McLean as well. I know I've said McLean should play, but I mean, Jesus Christ, when the boy looks so slow. Yeah. He's part of a team in Norwich that have started the season pretty poorly as well. So, why is Miller not getting a game? Like a young man that can actually take the ball and move forward in a sort of attacking, fast way, which you need to break these teams down as fast young players instead of old slow players, and it was just rubbish. Like,
we had enough of those fast young players on the pitch to do the damage. Are you saying that, like, if you're going to pick one biggest issue tonight, is it the selection then? So, I mean, at right back we couldn't have selected anyone else really. Ralston's fully fit, Matt Johnson's not.
I know you can.
And Hickey's obviously out. So at that position, you're slagging him off, but there's not too much we can do. Henry didn't start the game; he came on. In midfield, you're talking about one position, which is Miller versus McLean. Up front, a lot of people were asking for Bowie or Dykes because he scored the other night, but Adams played tonight and played really well and scored a goal. So, was the issue tonight selection, or was it tactic, or was it effort from the players, or is it a mixture?
Henry started the game, though. Did he not?
Yeah, he did. I was sure he started the game.
Sorry, yeah.
I think it was. I think Henry was a poor selection, and I think McLean was a poor selection. In hindsight, I'm happy that Adams played. I think he scored in the away game, so and he puts in a fucking shift like against Greece. Giving fuck all, like some ridiculous passes up to him against Greece, so he deserves to start. Like, and he's never really let us down. It's not his fault that no one can pass him the ball properly. I don't know what went wrong. I mean, but it's got to be a mixture of. Well, the players in the pitch should have won the game, right? You're saying Kenny McLean and Hendry, yeah, I'm slagging them off from Ralston, but they're good enough to win that game in a more comfortable fashion. The fact that we gave away so many chances is worrying. I think it's a probably, I don't know, tiredness, lack of enthusiasm.
I think that was clear with Robertson, the tiredness. Like, he's obviously not playing week in, week out for Liverpool. Put a massive shift in against Greece, and you could tell by the end when he
was
played
so
that ball
far
off
off
the
the
line.
goal they got disallowed. He was the man that was off his man, and the goalie actually scored. It was him again, sleeping like a yard behind everyone else. So maybe Tierney should be on a half time or 65 minutes. I don't know. I don't know. It just frustrates me because this game you're looking at it thinking, let's get 3-4 goals, let's get fans excited. I mean, the amount of times Doak was on the ball, it was really good. He absolutely skinned that fucking Diddy at left back for them, and they obviously changed the formation at half time, and Doak didn't really have as much threat in the second half. There wasn't enough attacking players in the pitch, maybe, I don't know. Maybe could have sacrificed another one of the holding fielders for their attacking.
4 really strong attacking players in McTominay, McGinn, Gannon, Doak, and Adams. I don't think it's that.
No, I don't think so.
What do you think, guys? I just don't know why it was so limp. Like,
I think there's a share of blame. You know, I think that's what maybe Tom's getting into. Is it selection? Is it Clarke's fault? Is it the player's fault? It's a bit of both. You know, I think that that starting 11 should have, as you said, blown away that team. That team are shite. You know, they were terrible, and they had about 20 chances on goal. You know, so I mean, who was at fault for that? I mean, it wasn't just one guy. But I thought going forward as well, it was really disjointed. You know, there was a few times that, you know, Robbo was getting himself forward defensively. I thought he was quite poor today. But, you know, there's times he's getting himself forward and then there's no one in the box. You know, everyone's just, hiding on the edge. You know, there's no ball in there. And I think that trend was very apparent very early on. I would have thought that they maybe brought Dykes on a wee bit earlier. Looking at the subs, you know, where I'd be critical of the manager, you know, he's given them a rocket at half time. He's then waited till after 70 minutes, you know, almost 75 minutes to make his first 2 subs, you know, and his first 2 subs are defensive subs, you know, so I'm just like, well, what's the intention here? It's you're clearly worried that we're conceding too many chances. I understand that, but what about what's going on in front of that back four? And then the next subs weren't made until the 8th minute. And at that point, I mean, Lennon Miller comes on. I thought he had the right attitude. He was doing well. I thought Dykes, applied himself. He was only on for a wee while. Kieran Bowie, you be as well being a man down. Honestly, he was absolutely dreadful. Missed a sitter, and he didn't give anything. At all. He was really poor. I said it before. How he's getting a call up instead of Shankland is beyond me. He's in bad form. So bringing on a guy that's in really poor form at that point to try and shore things up, I just didn't really understand it. So the timing of the subs and maybe some of the subs were a little bit questionable. But there's something wrong. The attitude did not change from Greece. We didn't seem like we'd kind of learned from getting a bit of a stroke of luck on that night. It was pedestrian. It was schoolboy defending. It was easy to play through us. We're really lucky that they don't have anyone clinical up top, because it could have been really embarrassing. To be completely honest with you, I don't actually agree with the goal that was chalked off for them. I think the foul happened a while ago in the build-up, but I mean, it was a soft foul in my opinion. So I mean, if I were them, I'd be furious, that was chalked off, to be honest. But don't know what you guys think about that. But yeah, we were lucky. We got away with it tonight, and to be honest, the better team lost. I thought they were the better team. They were up for it more. They applied themselves more. They created decent chances. They just couldn't put them away. So we got really lucky tonight. But this is a big chapter in Clarke's career, because as Tom, you're saying, it's the first time he's dug them out like that. How are they going to react to that? And is there going to be a good reaction, in the next couple of games, because they're only a month away. So it's a bit concerning. We've got a good team. There's nothing wrong with the actual personnel, on paper, but it's not clicking.
The biggest concern for me is it's clear that Clarke had set them up to play against a team that we're going to sit in. So Belarus in all of their games so far have gone 5-3-2, especially away from home. They sit super deep. That's what they did against us. They've done it against Greece, Denmark. And they didn't tonight. They came with a back four, and they had a really sort of high press for a team of their quality. We weren't, and Clarke's prepped the boys on something totally the opposite of that. Now, I don't think Clarke's wrong to prepare them to play against a team that are going to play that way. If that's how they've done it in every game so far, why would you try for anything different? But I think what's alarming is the players didn't adapt to that during the game at all.
Yeah.
Once you notice at 15-20 minutes in that this is how they're playing, you need to adapt and think about, right, when they're pressing high, how do you play against that? I'm not an expert, I'm not a coach, I don't know what the answer is, but you surely, as a professional footballer, need to be able to realise that your leaders, your McGinns and Robertsons, etc., need to say, right, or go over to the bench when there's a break in play and say, what do we do here? And Clarke says, right, plan B, they're playing with a back four, this is what we do. But it didn't seem that there was a plan B for a team playing in our faces. We weren't expecting that. The game in Belarus, and the reason I was so confident coming into this game tonight is because Belarus didn't have a chance in the first game, that I can remember, maybe one, but they never ever looked like threatening us. It was just disappointing we didn't score 3 or 4. But tonight it was the opposite. Like you said, they've had 20 odd shots, almost double ours or whatever it is, and it's also alarming that they had more passes in our half than we had in theirs. It's mental.
Yeah.
So.
Is that because they've seen us play on Thursday and realised that we're pushing the ball?
Probably,
and
yeah.
They've said, well, let's fucking go against these. And that's one point we'll be discussing. I think that could be the bloody legacy, mate, of Clarke, could it? The fact that the players can't pass the ball against Belarus.
The thing is, they should be able to, but I hear what you're saying about having senior, players and leaders within that team, that should be able to adapt the game plan. But ultimately, that's got to come from the manager, no?
No, of course.
Surely Clark's got to intervene, and I think my main point was he didn't really make any sort of intervention until way too late in the game. As we could all see from 45 minutes, to 75 minutes, that nothing was fucking happening, and if anything, it was regressing. So why is it taking him that long to make any changes? As much as he can point fingers at the players, and they've got a lot of blame there, but I mean, he has to take some of that blame too, because he didn't do anything about it.
There's an element of complacency within the players and in the coaching staff, I think. The blame shared. And also from me, I was in the stands, and when you look back at the game as a whole and you see the stats and things like that, you're like, shit, actually, we were, on the edge of a draw or a defeat potentially in that game. But there was an air of complacency as well when you're sat 1-0 up. I never ever thought, even though they were still creating chances, I never thought that it was going to go any other way than we were going to get the second goal and see it out for a 2-0. And maybe that complacency that I had as a fan is within the players' mindset and the management's thinking, we're 1-0 up, they're getting a few chances, but we'll still see this out. But Clark's record against those smaller teams, especially at home, is phenomenal. So we've won tonight. That's the bottom line. We've got 6 points from this camp, and we're sitting
we're in the playoffs.
Second in the group.
We're in the playoffs. Man, mine's times before we would never even get in the playoffs, and it was like fucking 3 teams could get. And mind that Euros qualifying campaign came 4th behind like Ireland and Poland and fucking someone else, Germany. Yeah. And now we're consistently getting qualification and playoffs, and yet it seems like things have never improved consistently.
Yeah, I think we've gone through those 2 games in quite a lot of detail, so it seems to be veering now towards more a discussion about Clarke. So let's have a little chat about him in our newish segment called Mr. Debates. The big question here is, or the headline for Mr. Debates this week is, as Matt put it earlier on in today's chat, which I'm going to find, I want to use its exact wording. Has Clarke wasted our golden generation of midfield talent with his negative tactics, or has he done what was needed to get results with a weaker central defence and attack? That is the sort of headline question for Mr. Debates, and since it was you that posed it, Matthew, I'll come to you first. What are your thoughts?
Well, off the back of the last 2 performances, I'm going to say yes. I mean, I don't know much about Greece. It's quite warm in the summer. They have that white little town that everyone goes to, whether the white buildings and that. They do good food. But I remember them being absolute boring bastards and absolute shite as fuck. And when they were going through a sticky spell and they were not doing very much, and they were losing to the Pharaohs or whoever it was, some minnows. And now look at them, mate, absolutely fucking schooling us. But then again, that's why they debate it, because we've got this amazing midfielders with McTominay, Gilmore playing for Napoli, Lewis Ferguson playing for Bologna, Christie playing for an absolutely wonderful Bournemouth team. You've got Doak playing for Bournemouth. Again, anyone else? Lennon Miller's got a Udinese. This is a quality generation of midfielders who can clearly play football at the highest of levels. So why are we struggling to keep possession against Greece? Why are we acting like we don't have the players that we can go and take the ball and advance it in dangerous positions and move it forward quickly and use the players and skills to move? But then again, Greece are going to be knocked out with 3 points, so then what the fuck's the point in playing all this passing football if you can't defend? Whereas Clarke's philosophy is, let's fucking be tough to beat. But then that only gets you so far, because then he'll leave and will be tough to beat, which we've always tried to be. But then other teams will be evolving and adapting. And I mean, has football gone past the defensive manager like Dyche and all those sort of guys? Or is it coming back and teams are playing more defensive, playing for set pieces, which seems to be a thing? That's why
you're just making debate after debate here. You're Mr. on the fence.
I mean,
what's your opinion? What do you think?
In my opinion is, my current opinion, we should be playing better football than we do. We should be able to go and make teams like Greece and others scared of us when we have the ball and when we have the players, but we can't seem to move the ball forward progressively in a way that is technically better than other teams. I don't know.
So performance is more important than results?
I'd like it to transition in the way that we can get results playing better football, so that you can have, I don't know, but then we won and we're going to possibly get in the playoffs, but then I can't even fucking decide my own debate. Like,
We'll come back to you. We'll hear from Andrew.
Let me think about
Has Clarke wasted a golden generation, or is he doing a good job with what he's got?
Yeah, no, I think he has. I think that he's got a lot of talent at his disposal, and I don't feel that he really uses it to its best ability. So that's how I feel. Does that mean that he's underperformed, and does that mean that he's done a really bad job? No, it doesn't. But could he be utilising the tools he's got there better? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he definitely could. You've got, as Matthew said, I'm not going to repeat it all, but player by player, but you've got players playing at the top level in European competition, top European leagues, Serie A, Premier League. You look at I don't know, like Walter Smith's era or something like that. In Scotland, the talent you've got then at your disposal, like your Paul Hartley's, your Barry Ferguson's, your Neil McCann's. I think, with respect, we've got a much better calibre of player that are playing at a higher level. We're not so Old Firm dominated, I guess, as we maybe have been over the years, over the fairly recent years as well. So for me, I do think that we don't look like a team that have that kind of quality of player in it. That's what it's about. So I have to say yes. That's how I feel. Again, I'm not saying that Clarke's done a bad job. I'm not saying that we're not getting performances or we're not getting results. Sorry, but we're maybe not getting the performances there. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
So to say that that this golden generation, if you want to use that phrase, has been wasted, would mean that you feel that they could have achieved more. So what do you think this group's ceiling has been over the sort of 6 years that Clarke's been there?
Well, I think that if you were utilising what the hell's Matthew, Jesus Christ.
What a new malfunction of the laptop.
If you're listening along, Matthew's camera just malfunctioned again.
Oh my god. It's going to go
absolutely mental.
It's on the blink.
If I cut off in about 30 seconds, I'm still here. The camera's just fucked.
His face is going crazy. Yeah, so yeah, how could he have done better, I guess, was your question, sorry.
Yeah, what's the ceiling for this group of players and for Scotland?
Sure. Well, look, we've a fucking midfielder that's, nominated for the Ballon d'Or here, so ultimately, we've got a really good calibre of player within that, within the squad. I do think that there has been too many occasions, and, I'm not an absolute Scotland diehard, so I can't remember exactly when they were or whatever, but there's too many occasions that we are riding by the seat of our pants a wee bit, and we've either needed a wee bit of luck or we've really truly sort of felt like it's heart attack football trying to grind a result out. I don't think that's always been necessary if we've maybe been playing to our strengths, but what I would say to defend Clarke is that I do feel that there has been a steady kind of regression with that, and obviously the last couple of results are a good kind of reflection of that, I guess. But there's always been a frustration that maybe talent, when it's good to kind of try and integrate, it's maybe not been integrated at the right time as well. Ferguson's a great example of that, I guess. We didn't really miss him, when he picked up that big injury before. It was the Euros, I think it was. So, first time round. So yeah, he's a good example. He was absolutely flying. We didn't utilize him, and we didn't miss him. So I think we could be playing slightly better football, yes, but I think that we wouldn't be, if we were in the habit of utilizing our talents a lot better. The last two results wouldn't have happened. Yes, everybody has an off day, but we're starting to see a bit of a trend where. We've gone from the Greece game where, I think we were quite poor and we were quite lucky, and then we've gone to the Belarus game and we've been even worse and even luckier. So that doesn't happen if you've got a dominant midfield that's good on the ball, that's able to make chances happen. That's not what I'm seeing.
what frustrates me is the fact that it seems as if we're a bit scared to be the team on the front foot. Or clearly, there's a worry that, as I say, the defence is not as strong. That maybe we're not going to score as much goals. We're not the striker. So you can see why Clarke has the pragmatic approach, and obviously it's worked because we've qualified for major tournaments. But the two showings at them, you could say, were underwhelming. Perhaps could we have done more there, shown ourselves a bit more of a personality to go and play on the ball? But then it's international football again. He only gets a certain amount of time with the players, so he's not possibly going to try and implement a new style. If he comes in that way that you know how he's done it for years, then he's not going to just rip it up and start again in one sort of block of training sessions. So I don't know. We know that he's the guy that does that, and he's done that throughout his career. I just feel like when we go into a game against Greece, no matter how well they're perceived to be playing, why can't we go and be the team that is the one that's dominating the game like that? Why are we the one that's always sort of on the back foot and shitting our pants that
exactly
we are going to lose a goal? Why can't we be the ones that are confident and that take the ball and make the chances and make them fucking shit themselves?
Well, yeah, especially when that's our area of strength. If our area of strength was the defence, then it's a different story. But you know, we've got a plethora of amazing midfielders, you know, that could play, you know, in the biggest clubs in Europe, you know, and we can't seem to get the most out of them. You know, they're not chipping in with enough goals, especially recently. And
I mean, our two midfielders are two top scorers, but
yeah, well, fair enough, fine. Well, I don't know enough about Scotland, so I'm kind of seeing my pants shit here. I don't really give a fuck. But basically, I don't really see Scotland, you know, utilising Gilmore, McTominay, Ferguson, Miller, you know, all these boys as much as I would like. That's it. You know, I think that they play their part in Clarke's system, but they're not the same players that get you off your seat. And there's no denying, you know, over the last couple of results, even though we got the results, you know, the Scotland fans clearly feel the same, because certainly sitting watching it on the telly, you hear nothing but boos, you know. So maybe the Scotland fans are a bit too complacent now, and maybe feeling a little bit more entitled, but ultimately they're expecting more, so I can't be the only one.
What do you think, Tom?
I think that we have had a promotion in the Nations League under Clarke. We've got to 2 Euros and a playoff now of 2 World Cup, so 4 qualification campaigns he's been involved in. He's qualified for 2 and got to 2 playoffs. In the last 22 qualifying games across the World Cup and the Euros, we've lost 2 games in those 22. One was to Denmark away, one was to Spain away. So 22 games, 11 I'm guessing roughly are at home, and we've not lost a single one of those. When it comes down to those big games to get us qualified, that is always, in my lifetime being a Scotland fan, since the World Cup in '98, since we were last at a World Cup, all we've wanted is to get back to a tournament. It's never been conversation of we must get to this stage in a tournament. It's not been that conversation. No one, when we're in these groups to qualify, are thinking, right, we need to do this, we need to do that. It's to get to tournaments, and that's what he does. We're in a brilliant position now. Yeah, I think the performances in the last 2 games were a bit crap, and you're saying we should be that team on the front foot against Greece. I'd love that. But ultimately, he's walked away with 10 points from 12 in this qualifying campaign. His stats, when you look at them, boil it all down compared to Craig Brown, for example. I won't go into the numbers, but they're almost identical in terms of like points per game and all these things. And everyone raves about Craig Brown's time as Scotland manager, rightly so. Clarke is on the verge of potentially being the first managers to take us to 3 international tournaments. And throughout everyone, you know, you're saying like not utilising the midfield enough and things like that. Now, in the qualification for the Euro campaign with Spain, Norway, that group, we played 5 at the back and a box 4 in midfield, and pretty much everything came through that box 4. That's why McTominay scored so many goals. So he did utilise that midfield quite a lot there. Everyone criticised the back 5 that it wasn't attacking enough. We switched to a back 4. We seem to be quite enjoying that. We've had a couple of off performances, But also a month ago, we played fantastically well against Denmark away from home and very solidly against Belarus. So I think he's been getting the most slagging of any Scotland manager undeservedly, in my
Because
opinion.
he's been successful, is that what it is? Because everyone expects more.
Potentially, yeah. He's created this position for himself where everyone expects so much more, and he does have a very, very good group of players. But the group of players in about 2008, that sort of era, McFadden playing at Everton, Barry Ferguson, Darren Fletcher in the midfield. We had Alan Hutton, who was at like Spurs and Villa and these types of teams, Rangers, UEFA Cup final at the time. Craig Gordon in goals, who's our best goalie of this generation. So we did have a really good squad there. We didn't qualify for anything at that time. We had Walter Smith in charge for a period there as well, who's one of the best managers that Scotland's ever produced. So I think that the criticism that Clarke gets is a bit harsh.
They've
Here's
not
a question
had
for
as
you.
good a team though. That's the thing. Like I think it comes down to personnel. You know, I don't think we've ever had as good a team as this. Playing for these types of teams around Europe, like this caliber of team. You know,
you're probably right. Yeah.
So I can't find any evidence of that.
One more thing, Tom. Do you not think Clark's been in charge of during a time where it's been the easiest or the most opportunities to qualify for tournaments that other managers haven't had that luxury of having expanded the World Cup and an expanded Euros and Nations League to get you into these positions? So has he be benefited from 100%. That? And could another manager come in with this group of players and do the same job? Do you reckon?
Potentially, I've done the same job, yeah, because like you say, it is easier to qualify. But when you've got the very, very similar stats to Craig Brown, who everyone loves, you've also done the job of getting us to tournaments. And for me, when I talked earlier asked the question about what our ceiling is, didn't really get a finite answer on that. What is our ceiling? Is it to get to a round of 16 tie? Because we all know it's not to win a Euros. So the fact that he's getting us to 2 tournaments, getting us to 2 playoffs for the World Cups, for me as a Scotland fan, and he goes through big long spells of great form, like he did in the Euro qualifiers and like he's doing just now. So that's why I think he's a cracking man.
I think I'd like to see us get there, which he's done, and then particularly in the second Euros, maybe not against Germany, but again the other 2 games, take the fucking chance. Like that's what I think the ceiling could be. Fucking go for it. You're there in the tournament. Like what, you get knocked out and that's it. You're fucking knocked out. You're already there. Why didn't we go for it in that Euros? Perhaps it could have been the question that you asked Clarke. I mean, yes, you've got a style and approach to get us there, but we're actually there now. Like this is the moment. I just felt the ceiling perhaps could be seizing that moment and making the most out of these players. But I mean, the fact that he's got us there, like clearly the guy knows what he's doing, and you can't really argue with his record. I just feel there's pitfalls to that mentality as well, though, isn't there? If, like playing devil's advocate, you could say if getting us there is the be all and end all, then when you're there, it doesn't matter what happens. That's exactly. So I see people's that's why games like the
perspective when they
Hungary
say
game
that.
and the game last Greece and the game tonight are just so frustrating because you have the talent there. Why are you afraid to utilise the talent? And there are ways to play with the ball, or there are ways to make chances and dominate games that don't rely on you sitting at the edge of your box and inviting the pressure. But maybe that's just not Clarke's
clearly works,
way.
though, doesn't it?
No, it does work, and
I mean,
he's
in
on
the
manager
majority
that
of
does
these
that.
competitive matches, he's winning.
Why do you think he causes so much sort of, maybe not division, but debate within the Scotland fans? Is it because he has done well and we expect more now, and sometimes when we lose these games or we play poorly, it's frustrating?
Well, I think that that his own success has been the biggest issue, because there wasn't really anyone that I can remember. There wasn't a mass movement of people slagging him off before the Euros in 2024. I think everyone was pretty happy with the job he did the year before to qualify, and then we went through that bad run of friendlies in the lead up to it. Then we had 3 pretty poor performances at the Euros, and that's when it really started. We got off to a bad start in the Nations League last year with Croatia and Poland and Portugal. I don't know. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, he's not wasted it. He's not wasted it because we've got to tournaments.
Yeah.
The moments where he could have utilised it better, perhaps.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't think he's ever overperformed. Is what my point is. Like I really don't think so. If it's easier to qualify, that's one thing. But you look at the squad of players that he's got available. It is the best squad of players in my lifetime. Easily that we've had. Available to a Scotland manager. So, should we be qualifying? Yes, I think so. And should we be doing better at the tournaments that we qualify for? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the Wales team that obviously did very well in the Euros. We have miles better talent in there. Maybe aside from Gareth Bale. Who I don't actually think even played like the last game or two. But we have much more talent in that squad than they did then. And it's not to say that we should be reaching semi-finals or anything like that. But I just think that again, it's that mentality of always wanting to kind of play on the back foot, not willing to kind of utilize your best players. I think that's my biggest sort of complaint as a very armchair kind of Scotland fan. So I think I think we should be doing a wee bit better. That's how I feel. And this generation is going to be maybe wasted after this last tournament, after this next tournament, sorry, because some of them are getting a wee bit too old. You look at, obviously Robbo's a good example, our captain. That's his last chance. And then who do we bring in? In those positions, we don't have that quality that are playing at the same kind of level. So this is our best chance, and maybe our best chance in our lifetime, potentially.
I mean, you're looking at the teams we could potentially face in the playoffs. Like, I mean, no doubt we'll get drawn against Italy probably in the fucking playoffs.
So if we get to the playoffs, if that's the way it goes, there's 4 pots to it.
Okay.
And pot 4 is the people who make it there through the Nations League. So it wouldn't be us, and then the rest of it's done via FIFA World Rankings. We would be one of the lowest FIFA World Ranked teams, so we'd be pot 3.
Okay.
So we would have an away tie against the pot 2 team as a one-off game, and then you'd have a drawn out the hat against the winner of a pot 1 versus pot 4 game, which could be home or away, depending on what the draw's like. So that's what the draw looks like if we go down that route.
The way it's going, surely you can't see us getting top. We'll get battered in Greece probably, and then.
Well,
who knows?
It's now 2 must-win games, isn't it? Because of the way the group is, it's 10 points each.
Yeah.
Denmark with a better goal difference, so Denmark are going to beat Belarus. They'll be on 13 by the time we play Greece. So it's 2. You need to win 2 games if you're going to win the group.
Mm-hmm.
But we've beaten Greece away from home. We've just beaten them really well. They're now out. They've been well beaten tonight by Denmark. So it's doable. You can't rule that off. And then if it does come down to a one-off game at Hampden, our home record's fantastic. We beat Denmark at home the last time we were there. We obviously drew with them away from home, and they didn't look. I mean, they've maybe turned a corner since that game against us, but they didn't really look fantastic against us in that game either. So it's all to play for, put it that way. The fact that we've got a playoff guaranteed at this early stage is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's good.
He's got the bloody results as he always does. That fucking Steve Clarke prick, fucking always winning, getting us to tournaments.
That's what concerns me. It's like
bag.
In 10 years' time, when he's obviously long gone from the manager's seat, how is he going to be remembered as a manager? I've got a feeling that it's not going to be with a lot of positivity, which I think is wild. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, which hopefully it won't be for a wee while longer. Scotland's international duty on this podcast is almost at an end. We've got a quiz to do tonight before we wrap up, and then we'll be back to domestic action for Friday's episode.
Mate, at the weekend they got beat 2-0 home to Ayr.
Wheels are off the bus for Robson. Robson out. Is he wasting Wraith's golden generation of talent?
It was a poor result. It's a bit disappointing. We were well beaten, I think. But the league's pretty tight, so all to play for now.
Yeah, apart from St Johnstone, who are romping it.
Right, Airdrie are bottom as well. But
yeah, Airdrie are miles away. Quiz time, brought to you by Stirling's only fully plant-based bar and kitchen, which is Nooch Bar and Kitchen.
In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever. That world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield, or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
See you Friday. I'm going on Friday.
Yes, Matthew's going on Friday, aren't you?
If I can get a table, not too busy.
It's already booked. Don't worry, James is confirmed.
Yes, come on.
Right, lads. Tonight's quiz is a team effort. It's you two against me. And in the theme of Steve Clarke, we're going to stick with Steve Clarke. Excuse me. So basically, it's one of our Tenable games, which I must remember to say that is Tenable when you get it right this time.
In a voice.
Because I forgot last time. And what we're looking for is any of the 10 most used players by Steve Clarke for Scotland. It's quite simple this week.
Come on,
And
Andrew, we can
you
smash
can get
this
2
one.
wrong. That's your lives that you can lose.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Is there a time limit or
Ideally within 10 minutes, yeah.
or 5?
Or 5.
Andy Robertson, then. Let's kick off with him.
Okay.
Oh, before we carry on,
Oh.
let's share the screen. We can do this again.
Oh.
You won't be able to see much to start with, but it's better than nothing.
A wee picture of Warwick Davis in the corner, is it? On his wee
Andy
podium.
Robertson is correct. Well done.
Nope, just just that.
Scott McTominay.
Scott McTominay is correct. Well done.
John McGlynn.
John McGlynn is incorrect. You've lost a life.
John McGlynn. Number 1, is this John McGlynn number 1?
No, number 1, yeah. He's the most used player by Steve Clarke for Scotland.
Grant Hanley.
Craig.
Oh,
Yeah, go for it.
Grant Hanley.
Grant Hanley is wrong. And again, we're 3 answers in here, and I've not said Tenable once.
He's
I'm
wrong.
wrong.
Why's Scott McTominay got a little England flag next to him?
Because he has dual citizenship for international
right.
duty. He could play for either.
Bloody Hanley. Sorry, mate. I just jumped in. We should have discussed that. Andrew, what do you think for the next one,
Yeah,
mate?
you're a life lost. You've only got one more to lose.
Craig Gordon.
Wait, we're discussing it.
Okay, I was going to say Craig Gordon.
No, Marshall
What do you
played
think?
a long time before Gordon came
Oh,
in.
that's true. Yeah, actually, Davy Marshall would be.
No,
it
don't
should
say him
be-
either.
Okay, well,
G.
I've
Adams.
done
Go
that.
G. Adams.
Right,
Say
go
Che
Che
Adams.
Adams in.
Andrew's been overruled for his 2 goalkeeping choices. They're going with Che Adams. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's Tenable. Well done.
Maybe Dykesy as well. Is his boy?
Yeah, surely. Yeah, this appearances, isn't it?
Yeah.
Appearances, yeah.
Yeah, Dykes will be in
Dykesy.
there.
Lyndon
Yes,
Dykes
the mouse
is
is hovering.
Tenable.
Come on. Okay, so
Yeah.
he likes McGregor. He played McGregor a lot until he retired.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
McGregor
abs-
played pretty much every game for Scotland.
Yeah.
We'll go
yeah.
Calzo.
McGregor is Tenable. Well done. 52 appearances for Steve Clarke.
Now he liked Armstrong. Obviously, Armstrong hasn't played recently, but he was at the last Euros.
The
But
3 I'm thinking of are Armstrong, Christie, and Kieran Tierney.
yeah, let's go Christie first because he scored the goal in Serbia, so he's definitely one of them. You'll go Christie.
Ryan Christie
Yeah.
is Tenable.
Fucking fly in my face. Sorry.
What do you think about Kieran Tierney? Too injury prone.
Prone bastard, but he has been
Yeah.
playing a lot in that 3 and go
I'm
Tierney because
thinking earlier on.
he was playing in the 3 of the 5.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Surely.
We've. I think let's go for him and then let's go for a keeper, eh?
Okay, Tierney.
Kieran Tierney is Tenable. Well done.
just-
40 appearances. This is including
Right.
tonight's game, by the way. Just
So Marshall was playing the first all the way up until the
I
first
think
Euros.
I think it's got to be Marshall. I think he's probably
Has
the
he
most
played more than
used
43
goalkeeper.
games? I don't think he has played more than 43 games for Clark. I don't think he has. I think the goalkeeping has been like Gordon, Marshall, Gunn. So it's like if they played, he only done 72 games. So you're saying like the 3 goalies have maybe split it quite evenly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He hasn't really had a settled. He's played Hendry a lot, but over 43 times, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
because he's had like Henry.
I will say, just to our
Tierney.
listeners on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you're listening to the podcast, just while these two are deliberating, you can watch our episodes. They're on YouTube. If you wish to see the screen that the boys are seeing just now and sort of play along at home, if you want to watch the episodes on YouTube, a lot of people I've been speaking to this week didn't realise that they could watch along instead of just listening. So yeah, if you're that way inclined, they're on
You can
YouTube.
see my camera cut out every.
If you want to see what we look like as well, it's maybe not for everyone's taste. But anyway, back to the quiz.
probably
Centre
not.
halves. It was like Tierney, Hendry. Like
You said
Porteous,
Armstrong
etc.
earlier on as well.
Yeah,
but he's
Armstrong.
but was that enough in the early days? Do you think? Or, I mean, he was pretty much a mainstay, wasn't he? But
Yeah, let's go Armstrong then. I think he's a very
think so.
yeah, very versatile player who played
Stu
a lot.
Armstrong is
positions.
not tenable. I'm not going to take a life off you though, because he does have the joint appearances with KT on 40. So
Oh, okay.
it's not in this
okay.
10, but I'm not going to take a life off you. I'll be fair.
That is fair. Thank you.
For once, they agree with the quiz host.
Kenneth
Something I've done
McLean's
is right.
also one of his mates, so he's possibly. But
Yeah,
has he been in? Has he been in
I
and out?
agree, but I don't know if he. I mean,
Stephen
appearances.
O'Donnell,
I mean,
he's been playing a lot. He was his man as well for a long time.
early on, yeah, actually.
But then he hasn't played. He didn't play in the last Euros, did he? No, that was Ralston. Jesus God,
No,
that's disaster. That right back position's been an absolute shambles, eh?
I'm just trying to think of.
So you got Dykes and then wingers. He's played like McTominay, McGinn, Gilmore.
Yeah, just trying to go through like
Porteous.
each position kind of thing.
He's played
Um,
in his first Euros. It was like anyone
right,
retired
so
as well.
we're looking at over 43 appearances.
Do you think Jack Hendry's had more than that caps for Scotland? That would be pretty strange if he had.
I don't think so. I think he was used a lot early on, but since yeah, well, maybe he's in contention.
I mean, was his what's the flag beside Tierney's name,
if-
by the way? Just a quick one.
Isle of Man.
Hill of Man.
Where he was
Isle
born,
of
yeah.
Man,
Was he actually?
Isle of Ireland, more like.
Oh, sorry.
Come on, boys. That's,
Right, it's mental that there's not a goalkeeper in there. No,
Okay, pick one, Andrew. Marshy.
I think we'll yeah, I think so. But what do you reckon? I just the whole thing then not to have a goalkeeper is mad.
Right, go for a goalkeeper. You say the name. I don't
Right,
know.
Dave Marshall, let's go for it.
David
Locked
Marshall is not tenable.
Oh, you bastard! He clicked his mouse on the.
I clicked it to
fucking
make
thing.
you think it was, but no. Marshall is the second most used keeper by Steve Clarke with 20 caps during Clarke's reign.
Jesus. Right. Let's just guess. Jack Hendry.
Can't lose
Yeah,
any more
just
lives.
go
I
for
will
it,
just
yeah.
remind you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Gonna
Well,
guess Jack Hendry.
Yeah.
Jack Hendry has made under Clarke 33 appearances, so he's not tenable, unfortunately. The two that you were missing were two midfielders, Kenny McLean with 46
McLean, I said it.
appearances, and Billy Gilmore with 43.
What, he's played that
That's
much?
actually surprising, to be fair.
That is surprising he's played that. He still seems so young,
Yeah.
Billy Gilmore.
Billy
Yeah.
Gilmore's been pretty much a mainstay in that midfield for Steve Clarke since he took over.
True, he
So,
did bring him in very young. That's right. I always see him as we 19-year-old as that little fresh face, you know?
5 years, roughly 8 appearances per year.
Fair play.
That's been Billy.
We did say McLean, we
But-
never actually said Gilmore, so another defeat for the boys against the fucking
That's
Warwick
it,
Danes.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's 2-0 to the house in the Tenable quiz, so you'll have to
Professor
come back with your
fucking-
thinking caps next time.
Nitwit from Harry Potter. What's his character? I don't know. Fuck off.
Professor Flitwick, I think.
Is it? Not Nitwit. What did I say?
Not Nitwit, no. Right, that's the end of Tinpot episode 20. I'm away to take my kilt off and
Show us.
get to my scratcher. No, I'm not going to do that, but yes, it's about to come off.
Take
Anyway,
it off.
Cheers, boys.
thank you for listening. Thanks for joining us, Matthew, Andrew, and I bid you all a bonne nuit.
Cheers.